Welcome back, Ceiba families. I want to give you all a warm welcome to our 2020 Back to School night. Due to the devastating impact the CZU Lightning Complex forest fire has had on our community, we have decided to record and share out this presentation rather than host our Back to School night live over Zoom. As I shared with you last week through two letters, some of our Ceiba faculty and staff have had to evacuate, and many others are caring for family, friends, and pets who have had to leave their homes. I'm certain many of you have been impacted by these fires as well. Our thoughts and prayers are with everyone impacted by these fires. Finally, please know Ceiba is here for you should you need support. And with that, onward to our Back to School night presentation. To begin, I want to introduce myself. My name is Mr. Rip, and I'm the head of school at Ceiba College Prep. We have a two-part agenda to our Back to School night meeting. The first is a head of school welcome led by me. During the head of school welcome, I'm going to discuss three items: distance learning tips for success, the schedule, and the Ceiba family communication. After I'm finished with my head of school welcome, our grade level teams will come on and they will provide grade level expectations. Each individual teacher will provide an introduction, and then each individual teacher will give a short class overview for what their classes will look like for the upcoming school year. Like I said on the previous slide, I will be discussing three items this evening: tips for distance learning, schedules, and ways we communicate. First up is tips for distance learning, tips for success. We learned a lot in quarter four, and after reviewing how we did as a school, as well as reading what other schools are doing around the state, I came up with three basic tips that I think, actually I know, that if you follow, you will be successful with distance learning. Tip 1, show up every day. One thing that was very clear from the data is that students who attend school through Zoom every day do much better. Grades are better, they feel less stressed, and they feel confident that they know what is going on in their classes. What's the key? Showing up every day. Turn on your Zoom, answer emails, turn in your assignments every day. Do this, and I am certain you will be successful with distance learning. Tip 2, make a daily schedule. Too often I've seen kids seem lost, confused, and take way too little or way too much time to complete assignments. This often is the result of students not having a structured schedule. My second tip for success with distance learning is to create a daily schedule. Wake up at the same time, eat breakfast at the same time. You may even want to think about taking a shower just as if you were planning to come to the building. Follow your schedule of Zoom classes, and finally, make a clear break between fun time and work time. This is difficult with distance learning with all of the fun things you can do with your Chromebooks, but it's also incredibly important. If you're supposed to be doing classwork, do classwork. If you're supposed to have fun time, then you can have fun time. By following a daily schedule, you can enjoy your free time knowing you've completed all of your responsibilities for the day. Finally, tip 3. Too often, adolescents and teenagers want to retreat to their bedrooms and shut out the world. But this is not good for their mental or emotional health. Connecting with others is what makes school special for many. Just because we're physically distanced from one another doesn't mean connecting should stop. Call your friends. Talk with classmates on Zoom. Talk with your teachers on Zoom. Open up to your families. These are all ways you can connect with others and be successful with distance learning. I want to take a moment here to pause and discuss Zoom and how that's connected to connecting with others. Too many students think going to Zoom meetings means turning off your audio and video and just listening to the teacher. That's not connecting. Connecting is talking to your classmates and your teachers by using your video and your audio. That is our expectation for all of you at Ceiba. Turn on your video and turn on your audio when you're on Zoom. Okay, now that we've discussed tips for success with distance learning, I want to discuss our schedule. I've broken down our schedule into two parts. The first part is Mondays. Mondays will continue to have 6 classes or periods, but there is a new live component that I've highlighted in yellow. Your first period class will now become live and function as a homeroom for 15 minutes. This is an opportunity to connect with your classmates and your teachers. Take a look at the school announcements and plan for the upcoming week. This live session on Zoom also will help you to maintain a daily schedule. One of the tips for success I mentioned on previous slides. So students, the expectation here is to be up and on your live Zoom classes at 8 a.m. every day, including Mondays. This new live interaction begins this coming Monday, August 31st. Be sure to tune into your live Zoom class for period 1. Let's move on to our Tuesday through Friday schedule. While the schedule is staying the same, just like Monday, we're adding more live Zoom interactions. Now each of your classes, Tuesday through Friday, will begin with live Zoom sessions. Support and intervention will continue to take place on Wednesday and Friday, but will do so after your live Zoom session. I have bolded the times you all need to remember. 8 a.m. for periods 1 or 4, 9:20 a.m. for periods 2 or 5, and 10:40 a.m. for periods 3 or 6. Be sure to tune into your teacher's live Zoom sessions each period, Tuesday through Friday. My final agenda item is the Ceiba family communication. I wanted to spend a moment to discuss how Ceiba communicates with all of you. I've broken down our communication into 6 main areas. First up, phone calls. You may receive phone calls from the office if your student does not check in for the day. You also may receive phone calls letting you know that there is a tutor who's eager to support your student. This could be in the form of a grade level academic coordinator check-in who wants to support your student. Phone calls are a simple, easy method that Ceiba uses to communicate with our students and their parents. Next up, text messages. You will receive text messages that will remind you sometimes when live Zoom classes are starting, that your students need to turn in missing an assignment, or they may be there might be a link to a letter within the text message. Last week, I sent out 2 letters to our community in response to the fires. You likely received these in a link through our text message. If you have not received text messages, please call us so we can correct your name in our system. Third, emails. Similar to text, Ceiba will send out emails to families who have indicated this on their emergency card they filled out. Messages that go to text will also be sent to families' email addresses. Fourth, Schoology. Schoology is our learning management system. This is where teachers post assignments and where students can access their assignments, complete them, and submit them for a grade. Teachers will also post student grades on Schoology. Parents, please check Schoology regularly. Your students know if you do, and they will be more motivated to turn in work if they know that you'll be checking on a regular basis. Fifth, our weekly newsletter. Many families share they want to know what assignments are coming up for their students. Our weekly newsletter seeks to resolve this issue that parents expressed. Every week, teachers will write down what students will be doing for the upcoming week. Read this letter over with your students and ask them about their assignments. This is a great way for students and parents to connect. Finally, social media. Ceiba maintains both an active Facebook and Instagram account. Ceiba staff will share out fun photos and videos as an additional way for Ceiba to stay connected with all of you. This concludes my head of school introduction to the back to school night recording. I'm now going to hand it over to our grade levels to introduce themselves.
Welcome. This is our back to school week for grade 11.
Hola, buenas tardes. Esta es nuestra semana de regreso a escuela para el grado 11.
We have a new schedule starting next week, August 31st. Every Monday, please make sure you're signed in to your Zoom for block 1 and sign in for Zoom every beginning of every block from Tuesday to Friday.
Aquí tenemos nuestro nuevo horario que empieza para la semana que entra. Los lunes tendrán que estar en vivo solamente para la clase del día. Y después de martes a viernes tienen que estar en vivo para todas sus clases.
And here's Ms. Lefevre.
Hello, my name's Donna Lefevre. A quote I like to use in presenting my Algebra 2 class is, "We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking that we used when creating them." And this is the way students need to think in order to approach the work we do in Algebra 2 and as they move forward into adulthood.
Esta es la maestra de Álgebra 2, la maestra Lefevre. Aquí tenemos una quote. No podemos resolver nuestros problemas con el mismo pensamiento que utilizamos a crearlos. Esto es algo que tienen que tomar en mente los estudiantes, así cuando vayan a hacer los trabajos en la clase de Álgebra 2, al igual que en el futuro.
Next slide. There are 8 identified math practices according to the Common Core standards. These math practices provide the framework for the way that our class is run. So math students should make sense of problems and persevere in solving them, reason abstractly and quantitatively, construct viable arguments and critique the reasoning of others, and model mathematics.
Aquí tenemos los estándares de matemáticas. El primero es desarrollar el sentido de los problemas y preservar en la solución de ellos. La segunda es razonar de manera abstracta y cuantitativa. Tercera es construir argumentos viables y evaluar el razonamiento de los demás. Y por último, modelar situaciones con las matemáticas.
And the next ones, use appropriate tools strategically, attend to precision, look for and make use of structure, and look for and express regularity in repeated reasoning. So in Algebra 2 as a course, that has the most content standards attached to it because the information continually builds on from their learning in prior math courses. We will explore many math concepts this year, but the emphasis will be on these mathematical practices to develop strong mathematicians and problem solvers.
So, los siguientes estándares es utilizar herramientas adecuadas de manera estratégica, prestar atención a la precisión, buscar y hacer uso de estructuras y por último buscar y expresar patrones de razonamiento repetitivos.
The instructional goals that I have for the students in my efforts to implement these practices are to build on their problem-solving strategies and endurance. I use logic puzzles and inquiry activities to engage students in conversation and help them practice breaking down a problem through observations and referencing prior knowledge. I develop specific algebra skills using direct instruction and note-taking as we learn properties and rules of math for specific types of problems. And then applying algebra skills in context. And so to see students apply their skills learned, there are quizzes, but I also use project work and performance tasks to see students apply their problem-solving skills in context of a real-world scenario.
Y aquí tenemos los objetivos de la clase. Por primero es desarrollar estrategias de resolución de problemas. Eso incluye rompecabezas lógicos, discusiones de clase, problemas grupales y críticas de socios. El siguiente es desarrollar habilidades de álgebra. Se tomarán notas cada semana. También va a haber práctica independiente. Le van a dar puntuaje en esfuerzo y finalización. Y por último, aplicar habilidades de álgebra. Esto incluye pruebas y exámenes, al igual que proyectos.
So in Algebra 2, the objectives are for students to be able to manipulate expressions and equations using math rules and properties, model situations in context, and identify scenarios that would apply to particular math models. Throughout the year, students will analyze a variety of function types and look for patterns between them. Semester 1 will focus on linear, absolute value, and quadratic functions.
Los objetivos de la clase de Álgebra 2 es que los estudiantes pueden manipular varias expresiones y ecuaciones usando reglas y propiedades matemáticas, modelarán situaciones en contexto y crean un contexto para modelos, analizar una variedad de funciones. En el primer semestre, el enfoque será en funciones lineares y valor absoluto y cuadráticas.
The schedule in my class follows the same model each week. So Monday, there is an intro lesson for the week and an independent practice exercise. On Thursday is our Zoom class lesson where students learn a new skill or math tool and do an activity within a group. Friday, we meet on Zoom to start with a summary activity from the week, and then they do an independent practice exercise. This is also the ideal time for students to receive additional support or clarify a question. During this class, we will use different Google apps like the documents, sheets, and slides for sharing work and taking down notes. We'll use Desmo's graphing calculator for visualizing patterns and within functions and identifying characteristics. We'll use Edpuzzle mostly for the introduction video of the week. And then IXL is the primary independent practice tool, but Khan Academy is also a good resource that we might refer to. If students need help outside of the Friday support time, I'm also available by email, which many students have been using already for clarifying questions on work throughout the week.
Y aquí tenemos el calendario para la semana. Los lunes sería la lección de introducción para la semana, que es el Edpuzzle, y también hay práctica independiente en los sistemas de IXL o Khan. Los jueves sería la clase en vivo en Zoom. Van a introducir una habilidad nueva o herramienta matemática y compartir en grupo. Los viernes otra vez va a haber clase en vivo en Zoom. Va a haber una actividad resumida de la semana, práctica independiente y tiempo para recibir ayuda de la maestra. Algunas de las herramientas comunes que van a utilizar en esta clase serían las Google Apps, que incluye los Docs, Sheets y Slides, Desmo's Graphing Calculator, Edpuzzle y IXL. Y allí está el correo electrónico de la maestra que es donnalefevre@ceibaprep.org. Si tienen algunas preguntas, pueden ponerse en contacto con ella por ese correo electrónico.
Thank you so much. We'll send it to Mr. Alper.
Hello, parents. My name is Kevin Alper, and I teach California history for the 11th grade.
Buenas tardes a todos. Este es el maestro Alper y él es el maestro de Historia de California.
Quickly about me, I am from New York, graduated class of 2005. I'm a proud graduate of both Cabrillo and UC Santa Cruz. I am in my master's teaching program, and it is my second year here at Ceiba.
El maestro originalmente es de Nueva York y también se graduó de Cabrillo y de UCSC aquí localmente y estudió historia y ahorita está en un programa de maestría de maestros y ahorita está en su segundo año en Ceiba.
Thank you. So this is a new class, es una clase nueva, and we will be covering 4 major units in the class. The first unit where the students are going to learn about native California before the arrival of Europeans. Then we're going to learn about the arrival of the Spanish and other groups of people to what we now call the state of California. The third quarter, and these units are by quarters, the third quarter we will learn about the statehood phase of California, becoming part of the United States. And in the fourth quarter, we will learn about modern California with a focus on civil rights in the state. And this isn't in the slide, so feel free to not translate it, but we'll be using a variety of learning platforms, and there will be some extended writing, but there will be a variety of assignments as well.
Durante este año se van a cubrir 4 unidades principales. Primero se va a empezar con California original y nativa, luego la llegada de los europeos y luego la formación de un estado aquí en California con la fiebre de oro y al último se va a aprender de California moderna, que es como conocemos a California ahora. Y durante el año se van a usar diferentes plataformas de aprendizaje, como han mencionado en previas clases, va a haber diferentes plataformas de aprendizaje.
Thank you. I'm available to if you have any questions or if your kids have any questions, I'm available to answer them anytime during work hours. And the best way to reach me is by email, but you could also reach me by phone or on Schoology, and I will gladly speak to you about whatever questions you have. And that is it. Thank you.
El maestro está disponible durante horas de trabajo siempre para los estudiantes y los padres. Aquí arriba está su correo electrónico y también su número de teléfono. Y él está disponible para apoyar a su estudiante en cualquier hora.
Thank you, Fatima.
Hello, I'm Miss Jing. I'm teaching physics and study skills this year.
Hola, soy la maestra Jing. Estoy ahora la maestra de la clase Study Skills y de Física.
I've been at Ceiba since 2014. I have my bachelor and master in physics from the Midwest, Minnesota, and Iowa State University.
La maestra Jing ha sido maestra en Ceiba desde el 2014. Ella agarró su licenciatura en física por el colegio de Gustavus Adolphus en Minnesota y es también su maestría en física de la Universidad de Iowa.
physics is the study of matter, energy, and the interactions between them. We will be using a lot of the mathematical concepts to learn about the physical world around us. So from the smallest particle of the matter to the immensity of the universe. I always say this, there are times that it is difficult, you will complain, it makes your brain hurt, but I think that is good. That's because you're learning something new.
So, la física es un estudio de la materia, energía y las interacciones que hay entre ellas. Vamos a estar usando los conceptos básicos de las matemáticas para aprender acerca del mundo físico a nuestro alrededor, desde las partículas más pequeñas de la materia hasta la inmensidad del universo. En estas clases ustedes aprenderán lo básico de la física, el conocimiento, cómo lo físico aprende acerca del mundo, indagación y cómo es formado el conocimiento científico, naturaleza de las ciencias. Los estudiantes obtendrán un aprecio por la solicitud de problemas, destrezas de pensamiento aplicables a la física y otros campos de indagación fuera de la física. Aun si ustedes no van a especializarse en la física en la universidad, los destrezas aprendidos son aplicables y frecuentemente requeridos en muchos otros campos y estas son los convertirán en empleos más deseables.
We are reading right now. I'm going to start from the cosmic perspective, so looking at physics through the lens of the universe. Here is the agenda for daily agenda. Monday will be some kind of reading or Edpuzzle, and there might be a checkpoint at the end of the Edpuzzle. Tuesday, please meet me on Zoom so that we can do some lecture or group work. There are points just for attending and participating. Wednesday, let's do a checkpoint, a Zoom checkpoint, and then we'll have some kind of daily, weekly reflections, and skills sharpener is for the week, is due on Wednesday.
Aquí tenemos un calendario de cómo va la clase. Los lunes van a estar leyendo, al igual de hacer Edpuzzle. Los martes van a hacer la cita en Zoom en vivo y van a trabajar en grupo. Aquí la maestra le va a dar puntos por asistencia y participación. Los miércoles también va a haber otra oportunidad de live Zoom. También deben entregar los aficionadores de habilidades diarios durante este tiempo.
Grading, 60% assessment, 10% Zoom, 10% final exam, and then 20% will just be your preparations or homework and assignments. And here are the tools that I use mostly. Of course, you use your Schoology to get to them. When you have Edpuzzle, I do require sometimes to use paper notes to post a picture. But we also use Kami, Physics Classroom. Sometimes I'll ask you to use your measuring tape, phone, and other things you find at home. There might be other technology like Perusals and Khan Academy.
Aquí tenemos a las calificaciones. 60% va a ser puntuajes de evaluación, como los exámenes. 10% va a ser la participación en Zoom. 10% en los exámenes finales. 20% de preparación. Las herramientas que van a utilizar serían Schoology, Edpuzzle, Doodle Notes y también papel regular. También van a estar Edpuzzle, Kami y physicsclassroom.com. A veces van a utilizar cintas métricas, un teléfono u otras cosas que encuentren en casa. Y a veces también van a utilizar Khan Academy y Perusol.
My expectations, please be respectful, even in Zoom situations. Participate, you can type or unmute yourself to talk. Learn, talk to me, communicate with me. You can email me through Schoology, through my email, or text me.
Las expectativas es que los estudiantes sean respetuosos, que participen, aprendan y hablen con la maestra. Aquí tenemos el correo electrónico de la maestra, al igual que su teléfono, donde le pueden marcar y mandar textos.
Thank you. I'll pass it to Miss Sickler. She's too long.
Hi, hola, buenas tardes. My name is Allison Sickler. I am the English Language Arts teacher for 11th grade. Soy la maestra de la clase de lenguaje. Next slide. So it's me again. If your child has been at Ceiba since 8th grade, then I have taught them. This is actually my 10th year of teaching, and I'm super excited to continue living and teaching in Watsonville. I grew up in New York, but Watsonville is very special to me. Soy yo, otra vez. Estoy emocionada de volver a enseñarle a sus hijos, a menos que su hijo se uniera a Ceiba después del 8º grado. Le enseñé ELA en el 8º grado, y este es mi 10º año de ser maestra, y estoy encantada de continuar mi carrera viviendo y enseñando en Watsonville. Y aunque crecí en Nueva York, Watsonville, la comunidad de Watsonville es muy importante para mí. So this year in ELA, quarter 1, we're currently studying a unit I call Voices of Resistance, which is a response to current events. We're going to be examining contemporary movements like Black Lives Matter in the context of those who went before, such as the Civil Rights Movement. In quarter 2, we're going to be looking at the Harlem Renaissance, which is going to be mostly based on poetry that came out of the predominantly African-American community of Harlem, New York in the 1920s and 30s. Then we're going to be reading The Great Gatsby, which is a novel, and we're also going to be reading Macbeth by Shakespeare. So en el semestre, vamos a comprender movimientos contemporáneos como Black Lives Matter en el contexto de aquellos que lo predecedieron. La unidad se llama Voces de Resistencia, y después vamos a leer poesía del Harlem Renaissance y un libro que se llama The Great Gatsby, y después Macbeth por Shakespeare. So these are the platforms that we are going to use in my class. So first off, we're going to be using Actively Learn, which is primarily for reading assignments. Students are already using all 3 of these platforms. To interact with videos, we use Edpuzzle, and students are going to be practicing their grammar and language acquisition using a website called Quill. So esas son mis plataformas virtuales que usamos en mi clase. Para la lectura se llama Actively Learn. Para interactuar con los videos se llama Edpuzzle. Y para practicar gramática y escritura se llama Quill. So special expectations for my class. Each day, students really only need to look at one place to find out what they need to do, and that's called my slide of the day. So all I need to do is go onto my Schoology homepage, and everything they need is going to be in that little box right there called the slide of the day. As long as they're looking at the current day, they will have all the links and all the explanations they need to do what they need to do. So, expectativas especiales para mi clase son que todos los días los estudiantes deben ver la hoja del día en mi página de Schoology para obtener sus tareas. And you can skip this slide. Okay, muchas gracias. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me by email. You can also text me at the number that you see here. And one tip I have, because I know we're all having issues with Wi-Fi, and sometimes students message me in a panic that they can't complete their work because the Wi-Fi or the hotspot is not working. One thing that you should encourage your child to do is download the Schoology, Zoom, Edpuzzle, and Actively Learn apps on a mobile device if they have one. This will enable them to do most of the work that they would have done on their Chromebook if they hadn't had internet issues. So, algunas preguntas que tienen ustedes, respondo a correos electrónicos y mensajes de texto en español. Se puede usar mi dirección electrónica así, y también el número para mandar textos. Y un consejo que tengo yo es que los estudiantes pueden descargar las aplicaciones de Schoology y más en sus teléfonos móviles para trabajar sin Wi-Fi. Eso es, muchas gracias. Thank you very much.
Buenas tardes a todos. Me llamo Fátima y yo soy el Grade Level Academic Coordinator para el 11 grado. Hello everyone, my name is Fatima and I am the Grade Level Academic Coordinator for the 11th grade. I graduated from Ceiba in 2015 and I graduated from Clark University in 2019 and I'm currently at Santa Clara University. So my role here with the 11th grade is that I meet with students individually who are having trouble in any of their classes. And we have Zooms either in groups or individually. So I am available through email and also through cell phone number to set up an appointment with your student or an appointment with your student and yourself if you'd like. Next slide, please. So like I mentioned before, I'm your go-to person if your student is struggling in a class or multiple classes. You can reach out to me and we can connect them to resources, whether it's Zoom with myself or with other people who are available to help. Mi posición en el grado 11 es para apoyar estudiantes individualmente o a veces también en grupos. Me pueden mandar un correo electrónico o mensaje con el número que está en la pantalla para hacer un appointment para Zoom, para poder monitorear el progreso académico de su estudiante y también para poder trabajar con su estudiante y quizás con sus maestros en el momento. Y aquí está mi información de contacto si me quiere mandar un correo electrónico o texto para hacer una cita. Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Trevor and I are also teaching study skills. Mr. Trevor has been teaching at Ceiba since 2015. He graduated from UCSC. So our study skills schedule will be as following.
So aquí tenemos al maestro Stover y la maestra Jean, que son los maestros de la clase que se llama Study Skills. Y aquí podemos ver el horario de esas clases.
So Monday, we're going to do grade check. Every Monday, do a grade check assignment, check your grades, put in what to do for the week, and do a reflection. And then Thursday, we'll meet for Zoom for a character strong, some kind of activities online together. And then on Friday, you have to submit a learning log where you take 2 things that was the most difficult for the week and write down what have you learned. That is for study skills. And then we have credit recovery. Some of you are in credit recovery with Miss Powell. You have to go on Zoom on Thursday to meet with tutor, and then Friday you'll do your credit recovery goals.
Para los estudiantes que tienen la clase de Study Skills, los lunes van a revisar sus calificaciones, los jueves van a hacer unas actividades por Character Strong en Zoom y los viernes van a hacer anotar unas metas. Para los estudiantes que están recuperando créditos de clases que fallaron anteriormente, también los lunes van a revisar sus calificaciones, los jueves van a asistir a la clase de Miss Powell para recibir ayuda para poder completar estos créditos y los viernes también van a hacer unas metas.
Hi parents, my name is Sean Ortega. I am the resource specialist at Ceiba for grade 11 as well as their directed studies teacher. I am from Watsonville. I've graduated from Cabrillo, Chico State University, and CSU Monterey Bay for my teaching credential.
Buenas tardes, este es el maestro Ortega. Él trabaja con Resource.
What will we learn in class? Well, we spend a lot of time working on assignments from their other classes. So I'm sort of like a tutor, but I more help them process and help them with one-to-one help with all their assignments. We do spend some time talking about transitioning to adulthood and life after high school. We will do a lot of research, specifically part-time jobs, how to fill out applications, work through mock budgets, and we'll do some mock interviews to prepare scholars for the workforce. I also encourage all our students to work hard and to be effective in this distance learning. We're going to need to communicate very, very effectively with our support staff as well as their teachers.
Con el maestro Ortega, los estudiantes pasan mucho tiempo trabajando en sus tareas de otras clases. También dedican tiempo hablando sobre la transición de la edad adulta y la vida después de la escuela secundaria. Juntos también investigan diferentes cosas como trabajos de medio tiempo, también cómo completar solicitudes, cómo hacer cosas de adultos que también no siempre están relacionadas a las cosas académicos. Y él anima a sus estudiantes que trabajen muy duro y que se comuniquen con el personal cuando necesitan apoyo.
During Zoom meetings, I help students with their assignments, as mentioned before, but I also help them troubleshoot technological difficulties that they may have and help them communicate with their teachers. We are a close-knit group and we help each other out whenever we need it. I'm very fortunate to teach this group of kids. I'm excited to work with them for the remainder of the year. Our class schedule is Wednesdays and Fridays at 9:20 to 10:37.
Durante las reuniones de Zoom, el maestro ayuda a sus estudiantes con sus tareas y también solucionar problemas tecnológicos y también les ayuda a comunicarse con maestros. El maestro dice que somos un grupo muy unidos y ayudamos a uno al otro cuando es necesario. Él trabaja con un grupo de estudiantes y está emocionado de trabajar con ellos durante el resto del año. Su horario es miércoles y viernes de las 9:20 a las 10:37 de la mañana.
Commonly used tech platforms in my class is Zoom, Google Mail, Schoology, Actively Learn, Edpuzzle, Newsela, Google, and all other platforms previously discussed by teachers.
Las plataformas tecnológicas que usan, que son común en varias de las clases, son Zoom, correo electrónico, Schoology, Actively Learn, Edpuzzle, Newsela y Google.
Expectations. Each student in directed studies is expected to try their best on every assignment given. Having a good mindset while attempting to complete assignments is a good outlook to have while studying, especially during a directed studies platform. I have a very simple saying for all my students, not only in school, but for their life. Do your best and forget the rest. I think if they're able to follow this, they're going to be successful in anything they do.
Se espera que cada estudiante en los estudios dirigidos haga su mejor esfuerzo en cada tarea asignada. Tener una buena mentalidad al intentar completar la tarea es una buena perspectiva para tener al estelar. Se espera que un dicho que el maestro dice es que hagan todo lo posible y que se olviden el resto.
And here's my contact information, my email, and my Google Voice phone number. If you'd like to text me, that is totally fine. And I look forward to hearing from you.
En la pantalla está la información de contacto del maestro Ortega, está su correo electrónico y también su número de teléfono de Google Voice. Y él está feliz de escuchar de ustedes en forma de texto o correo electrónico.
Hello. My name is Darren Commons. I teach a variety of classes here at Ceiba, but for 11th grade, I teach U.S. history and AP U.S. history. I went to Santa Cruz High School, Bard College, and got my teaching credential at UCSC. This is my 9th year at Ceiba.
Este es el maestro Cummins, que es el maestro de Historia de los Estados Unidos y también la clase avanzada de Historia de los Estados Unidos y la clase de proyecto para los estudiantes que están en el grado 12. Es su 9º año aquí como maestro de Ceiba. Fue al colegio Bard College y también a la Universidad de Santa Cruz.
Okay, so in U.S. history, analyze narratives and evidence from the late 19th century to the present in order to understand issues of power and justice. We asked the question, how have Americans struggled for power and justice? What have been the successes and failures of those struggles? Their skills focus is reading, writing, analysis. Assessments take the form of essays and quizzes, as well as occasional creative projects, such as video reports, slide presentations, and posters.
Los estudiantes en esta clase van a analizar narrativas y evidencia de finales del siglo XIX hasta el presente para comprender cuestiones de poder y justicia, cómo han luchado los estadounidenses para el poder y la justicia, cuáles han sido los éxitos y fracasos de estas luchas. El enfoque de las habilidades va a ser en el análisis crítico de lectura y escritura. Y por último, las evaluaciones tomarán la forma de ensayos y cuestionarios, así como proyectos creativos, ocasiones como informes de video, presentaciones de dispositivos y carteles.
Okay. AP U.S. History is an intensive college level course covering U.S. history from 1491 to the present. The purpose of the course is to prepare for the AP exam on May 6th. In this class, students will be required to do extensive homework, reading, video watching, and note-taking. There will be homework quizzes each week, exams and essays. In class, we will be having discussions and analyzing primary documents on Tuesdays. Tips for success in this class is to be thorough on all note-taking assignments. Come to class prepared to ask questions about your readings. Get ahead on reading and video assignments. Don't let it pile up. Create study groups for homework and test prep. And even do extra research on your own, especially for vocabulary.
Para la clase avanzada de Historia de los Estados Unidos, este es un curso muy intensivo de nivel universitario que va a cubrir la historia de los Estados Unidos desde 1491 hasta el presente. Y esto es todo en preparación para el examen el 6 de mayo. Hay mucha tarea intensa, van a leer, van a tomar muchas notas, pruebas, exámenes y ensayos. Va a haber discusiones en clases y documentos primarios. Unos consejos del maestro es que sean meticulosos con las tareas para tomar notas, que vengan a clase preparados a hacer preguntas, avanzarse en las tareas de lectura y video. También les recomienda que hagan grupos de estudio para la tarea y para que se preparen los estudiantes para los exámenes. Y también van a tener que hacer investigaciones adicionales por su cuenta, especialmente cuando viene sobre el vocabulario.
Thank you. Here again, the Zoom classes scheduled for the new week. Thank you for your attention. Remember to check Schoology, check email, talk to your teachers.
Y aquí tenemos por último otra vez el calendario para la semana. Esto es todo por hoy. Y otra vez es muy importante que estén los estudiantes en contacto con sus maestros. Que tengan buenas tardes. Adiós.